Basi mfungulie mwenzenu.
No, the ones who are here, the ones who handle the issue. Yes, the ones who was okay. Hello. Lakini wako ndio hapa mimi namuona. Muona ndio hapa. She is the from DPU, yeah? Please, can you open the door, please, for me?
This is live from Nairobi area police station. where the Turkish investor Harun is being held. You can see the official from the embassy. We've been denied the entry to see their citizen. It's now past 1 hour since they came here, and the lawyers also are here. The Cliff from Peter is here. Some leaders also here. I understand the investor Harun is being held here, and this is the gate that they say to have been used to get him in. So, according to some people speaking or giving their views, they said Harun is a clean person, because if indeed he was a criminal or a terrorist, then he would have not come back to Kenya, because I understand he would have really fly to his country, that is Turkey, right from Uganda. But you know, now this is being politicized. Do you understand what is really going on in the country? People discussing things that as we don't know. Okay, you can see the people here very much frustrated from the embassy, right? These are the officials from the embassy making some consultations here. Let's get to hear from clip better.
Tuko hapa kwa sababu ya rafiki yetu kutoka kule Turkey. Kama vile mliona juzi ya Jumatatu ile, kwa tunasafiri na yeye kwenda kule Uganda, na tukasuidiwa upande chini ya masaa 5 na nusu, na baada ya hiyo wakatupandia sisi wengine twende, wakazuia mwingine aisha. Lakini baadaye na pia walishtuka, wakajua ya kwamba wao jambo mbaya hapo kuna makosa, ndio walikuwa wanajaribu kudivert attention na story ya kwamba watazana huyu mtu amekuwa hapa zaidi ya miaka 2 sasa, na kuna work permit, amekuwa akiingia akitoka, naenda naye Uganda the second time kwenda Uganda naye. Na hata kama serikali yetu iko na kasoro, sidhani kama Uganda inasapoti iko na kasoro. Kama kungekuwa na anything kuhusiana na terrorist, pia Uganda wangekuwa wanapata flag yote. Na ndio mimi niliuliza swali siku hiyo kabla sijasema sasa hivi, ya kwamba kama Harun alikuwa terrorist, ni kwa nini muachilie terrorist aende na mzuie terrorist? Mlikuwa na uwezo yote ya kumzuia pale airport, lakini maneno ya terrorist nilikuja baada ya saa 2 usiku, baada ya wamejua ile walikuwa wanajaribu kufanya imegonga ukuta. Na hii mambo yote hata kushika huyu Harun siku ya leo ni kwa sababu wanataka kujustify ile maneno walisema, na pia ule mtu wanatafuta actually ni deputy president. na mimi nataka niwaambie hawa, hakuna haja ya kuharibu uhusiano ya wanabiashara wa Turkey na wa Kenya ama kuzuia investors kuja Kenya kwa sababu ya mtu mmoja. Tuko na shida mingi sana Kenya hii wakitafuta mtu mmoja. Leo asubuhi Harun ametoka kule Uganda, amekuja na rafiki yetu anaitwa Dr. Paul, na amekuwa kule Uganda akifanya kazi. Wamekuwa watu wanne kwa hiyo ndege, na wakati walifika kule kiwanja ya ndege hao wakaruhusiwa waende wakwe clear, ya akashuhudiwa akachukuliwa na polisi, inasemekana ni wanachera na vingine kutoka. Mpaka sasa hawatuambii nini inaendelea. Wakamzuia pale about 1 hour, nikafika pale nikapata wameleta Nissan, nikamleta na mimi pia nikamake sure nimeingia kwa hiyo Nissan, na kuniambia nishuke, nikamwambia mimi Mkenya na najulikana sana, hakuna penye naenda. Niliingia kwa hiyo Nissan kwa sababu ya maneno mawili. Kama mliposikia on Tuesday au Wednesday, wakati nilisema kama huyu Harun ni terrorist, pia mimi ni terrorist. Ndio nimesema hata kwa my tweet, na sikutaka kumuacha. Tumekuja kufika hapa kwa mlango, wamefunga gate, wakatambua tushuke, polisi zaidi ya 15 wamenisuia nisiingie. Na ndio mimi niko na sababu zangu nikisema huyu ni mwanabiashara namjua. Sisi pia hapana wajinga sana, ama hatuwezi kuwa na kasoro yenye hatuwezi jua ni nini inaendelea. So wamemuingisha hapa ndani kama vile mnavyoona. Kuna mawakili wetu, wakili wengine wameenda na Naziri, wengine wako umuhimu. Tuko hapa na deputy ambassador wao, tuko na mwenzake mwenye anafanya ofisi yake, tuko na watu wengi hapa. Kila mtu amekatazwa kuingia ndani. Yule mtu kwanza ajui kuongea Kiingereza, kama ni Kiingereza anaongea ni mbili peke yake, labda ya kusema ya salamu tosha. So hatujui wamemzuia hapo ndani peke yake. Translator wake hako hapa, mawakili wote wako hapa, deputy ambassador wa Turkey yuko hapa na wenzao wote wamesuhudiwa wasiingie ndani, kwa sababu actually hawa watu hawana cha kuulizwa ama cha kuuliza, na wataki aibu yao ionekane. Sijui ni nini wanatafuta. That's why nilisema kama wanataka kumfunga huyu Harun, sasa mimi namjua na nimeenda mpaka kwao, mimi naomba sana wanifunge na yeye. Hiyo ndio nimekuwa hapa, nimesimama hapa, kwa sababu haitawezekana uchukue mtu anatoka nchi nyingine umfrustrate kwa sababu ya siasa. Ana ndugu yake hapa, ana watu wao hapa, kama kuna watu wao wa karibu ni mimi na wengine. Ndio unaona mimi nimekaa hapa, nimeuliza ya kwamba kama inawezekana, tafadhali mimi niko hapa kwa mlango, wacha nikae na huyu mtu wangu. Ukiwekelea kwa terrorist pia mniwekelee mimi. Mkimwekelea mkisema mnamfunga, tafadhali naomba kwa heshima mtufunge pamoja. Ni mbaya sana, ni aibu sana. Ndio nilirudia siku ile tukiwa Eldoret, tukasema ile shida tuko naye Dubai sasa hivi ni shida ile ya gold, haikufuatiliwa vizuri. Vijana wengi wakitaka kwenda kuomba kazi Dubai siku hizi wa Kenya wamiliki kwa sababu ya ukora ndogo ndogo. Ndio hii sasa mnaanza kufrustrate investor mwenye ako na record kwao, ako na record kwa embassy yao. Sisi wenyewe tumeenda mpaka kwao, yeye mwenyewe amekuja mpaka kwetu, tumekuwa na yeye hapa mara mingi. Tumeenda kule Eldoret, tumeenda kule Uganda, na hata huyu jamaa kutoka Uganda ataongea hapa, atawaeleza sisi katika taifa la Kenya. Na mimi naomba Mungu sana, mimi naomba Mungu sana, imebaki siku chache. Unaweza fanya na uwezo ya kifua ile, unaweza tumia nguvu zote uko nazo, lakini jiulize swali, kulikuwa na watu wengi walikuwa na nguvu mingi sana. Moi alikuwa na nguvu mingi sana. Moi alikuwa katiba, alikuwa akipenduka watu wote wanapenduka. Lakini saa hii ako juu mbinguni, sijui ako upande gani. Hata wewe mwenye unafikiria uko na nguvu mingi sana, mwenye unasatumia kudhulumu wa Kenya, kupiga simu kutoka kwa na fulani, kwa sababu sio Harun unatafuta, tunajua ule mtu unatafuta. Mimi nataka nikuambie, Mungu mwenye yuko hai juu mbinguni atadili na wewe pia, siku yako inakuja. Wakenya wengi wameumia, uchumi ya Kenya, and I can tell this for free, uchumi ya Kenya zaidi ya 50% kwa ile imeharibika wakitafuta mtu mmoja. Sio jambo la kawaida na sio jambo la kucheka, lakini tunaombea Mungu na tunaomba pia Mungu. Na niliomba Mungu siku nyingine nikaambia ni watu kama hawa wanasatesa wa Kenya zaidi ya milioni 50. Tuchukue hawa ama udini na hawa kwa njia ile inafaa, kwa sababu hii ni dhuluma kubwa kwa taifa letu la Kenya. Tumerudi nyuma, tunauliza ati tunataka katiba mpya. Tumeshindwa kutengeneza katiba yenye tuko naye sasa. Saa hii tuko hapa na mawakili wanajua sheria. Mtu hawezi akashikwa bila wakili wake. Mtu hawezi akashikwa bila mtu yoyote kama hakuna kitu mnaficha ama hakuna kitu mnafanya kitu kibaya. Huyu Harun ni mwanabiashara kama kila mtu. Na sio mwanabiashara mwisi kama nyinyi. Ni mwanabiashara anajitafutia haki yake. Mmesuia mawakili, mmesuia kila mtu, hamuna heshima. Hata embassy hataki, imekuja hapa wenyewe, hamuna heshima yote. You don't have even a courtesy to just talk to them. Kiburi mingi itafika siku hiyo. Sitaki kusema kusidi hapo, lakini nataka niseme ya kwamba, nataka niambie Wakenya ya kwamba mrelax, msiwe na pressure. Hii ni ujinga wa watu fulani au vitu watu watatu, lakini siku moja Mwenyezi Mungu atatukulia baraka.
Today at about 11:20 a.m. Harun Aydin had just arrived from Uganda, where he had gone for some business transactions. The moment he arrived, officers drove into the runway and arrested him, separated him from the other people that he was with, and arrested him on the runway, put him in a van. Mr. Honorable Sudi entered the van, insisted that he must go with the businessman. But when he reached here, he was removed from the van, and so many officers surrounded him, and they took in Mr. Aydin into the premises, which is behind us here. As you can see, it is tightly sealed, tightly locked, no access. It has no spaces for you to peep through those small holes. They have access to be able to see us through some small holes at the wall. And we arrived here as lawyers with my colleague and others who are here present. Mr. Ahmed Nasir was here, Mr. Chimudol was here. None of us was given access to see or to speak to him. We do not know what his condition is at this particular time, but it is his right, even if he is a foreigner in this country, as long as he has a work permit and is passing through this country, his constitutional rights must be observed. Yet here we are. We take him from a place, from a flight, and come and put him in custody without any complaint, without any justifiable cause. You get a dog and call it a bad name because you want to kick it. So what do they do the first time? They say he's a bad man, he's a terrorist. They allow him to land into this country. They allow him to take a flight from here. They allow him to go to Uganda. During this period of time, he has not committed any offense. Not one, no OB, nothing. He has come back from Uganda. He has not committed any offense. You arrest him. Initially, if he was a terrorist, how did you allow him to leave this country? How did you let him travel to Uganda, boarding a flight from this country? If you are genuine enough, that was the moment to arrest him. But of course, because you know who he's associated with, you decide you want to frustrate everybody at the cost of his rights, not caring, at the risk of international relations, diplomatic relations. The ambassadors are here. You don't want them to talk to their subject. You do not allow him to speak to the ambassador, he himself. You then ignore the calls from the ambassador. And you say you want to have relations. We are doing a lot of business with Turkey in this country. This man has a work permit given here. When you gave him this work permit in the current administration, didn't you think he was a terrorist? Didn't you know he was a terrorist? For you to have given him a work permit, what do? The NSIS are involved, the police are involved, investigators are involved, the immigration is involved. Before that document is given to you, they also see, are you capable of doing any business? And that one must be in millions. All of a sudden he's a terrorist? Are you trying to say that you gave a terrorist a work permit? Aren't you ashamed? Isn't this embarrassing for us and everybody else here? So when we reach here, I call Inspector Mutiambai, Inspector General Mr. Mutiambai. He puts off his phone. I have called him even in the presence of the press people. He's not picking his phone, and then after he's put it off completely, now it's an answering machine. This is a crisis. He knows what is going on. What has he done? So this impunity has crept into our forces. The people we are supposed to be depending on, or who we want to trust, are the same people who are crippling us, are the same people who are not looking at our constitutional rights, are the same people who are not allowing us to enjoy them and observe them. How can we even trust the police? So right now, as we are speaking, the gentleman inside cannot speak proper English. You want to interrogate him. Interrogate him for what? How do you explain to him you want to interrogate him? The person who could have interrogated for him, his interpreter, is present here. Why didn't they even allow him inside there so that the person can at least know why he's being held? That has not happened until this particular moment. Then, at what point are you going to release this man? Because the diplomatic offices, I mean Kenyan Foreign Affairs Office, has already said that he's not under arrest, but they were only interrogating him. For what? When you got him from the runway, was it willingly? When you put him inside a motor vehicle under threat, is it willingly? The moment you bring him here and close him in this place, is that willingly? That is an arrest. Why isn't he being then allowed to come out? If it's not an arrest, why can't he even come out and speak to people out here? Why can't he be allowed one step? Why are these officers embarrassed that they cannot be able to open this door right now? We have been knocking and banging here. We have been here for 2 hours. Why? This is an embarrassing situation for this government and for any administration. And we know this is the DNA of the system at the particular moment. What are they going to do? The moment they are going to say that they want to release him, they will only rush him to the airport and say he's a persona non grata. Mark my words. They'll stamp his passport and say he's a persona non grata. That will come. It will come to pass. They will not let him. You'll have broken diplomatic connections. You'll have embarrassed the person. You'll have thrown him out of a country without his due rights. You'll have broken his constitutional right. We are totally, can I say, a malicious country? Because you are looking for a particular person who you want to damage his reputation, who you want to attack and destroy. You do not care the costs. You do not care the collateral. This is totally wrong, and we should be embarrassed as a country.
The deputy, no. You guys will win.
Sometimes I do a normal. Oh no, that is straight.
Dr. Paul Bamutaza is my name. I'm Ugandan and I'm East African. I hosted Harun in Uganda to venture into various investment opportunities that could benefit my country, Uganda, and the entire East African community. And I traveled with him on the same private jet from Uganda, landed at Wilson, only to face some kind of fracas where he was disassociated from me, his host from Uganda. But what beats my understanding, even while in Uganda, there were lots of reports that Harun was a terrorist, even before he left Kenya. Now, within the East African Community protocols, I don't think Kenya would allow a terrorist to travel to Uganda. I don't think so. So we understand that there is a political terrain in Kenya, but we only appeal to the people responsible that let's keep politics out of business. Because if you attack business, you're attacking employment opportunities for East Africans, Kenyans, Ugandans, Tanzanians, whatever. So this kind of act is a disappointment, one, to the leadership, and in myself, somebody that believes in the East African integration. This is just, something nonsensical. But also I would want to take this opportunity to respond to a section of MPs from the ODM who attacked my President Yoweri Museveni, attacked the ruling NRM party, even as though they were doing it to gain political momentum. They need to be schooled on matters diplomatic relations, interstate relations, because you don't attack the person of the president of the Republic of Uganda. You don't attack the ruling political party because you want to make news. Otherwise, that can turn out to be a serious diplomatic blunder. But for this purpose, I would want to be on record. I myself, Dr. Paul Bamutaze, invited Harun to Uganda to do something similar that he was trying to do for Kenyans since 2018, because we believe in one community. We believe in a wider East African integration. We don't want to believe in tribes, small units of politics here and there. We want to believe, to believe in a wider community that will give our people jobs, that will give our people hope, that will give our people, future from global persecution. That's what we believe in, and that's what my president believes in. All of you understand that President Yoweri Museveni has championed the integration ever since the first collapse. He's the one that ignited, the reignition of this community, because he knows that at the end of the day, Kenya cannot stand alone, Uganda cannot stand alone, Tanzania cannot stand alone, Rwanda, Burundi cannot stand alone, South Sudan, DRC. But together as a bloc, we can sit at the negotiating table. That's the vision of my president. And I'm sure all of you here have been following President Museveni and his vision for one East Africa, at least one East Africa. Even when the wider integration of Africa is at stake, but at least we can start with blocks. And that has been the vision of my president. So, such acts demoralize me as a person who has been pushing this integration agenda. You travel with somebody on the same aircraft. We've been discussing integration and how, his zeal towards the African race, his contribution that he can bring on table for us East Africans. And then you land at the airport and the person is taken away from you. That is demoralizing. Now, I would want to just appeal to the people responsible in the Republic of Kenya and the wider East African bloc. Let's try to manage our politics and desist from involving potential business investments that are coming to our region by some sort of cheap popularity politics. That's my humble appeal. You understand? And seeing a section of MPs bashing President Museveni and the NRM, that's quite on the unfortunate bit, because even Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga has on so many occasions campaigned for President Museveni. So why does his party come out at the last hour to say, okay, William Ruto is going to seek for political lessons from President Museveni, which was not, the case in point. This Harun we are talking about here has done substantial investment in Kenya. So if there is an extension to Uganda, what does it make our Kenyan brothers and sisters hungry? We are one region. What this guy is doing in Kenya, he just wants to replicate in Uganda, such that even we, our brothers, your brothers and sisters, we benefit. There is nothing. There's nothing strange. I heard so many people say that a deputy president who is preaching bottom up is taking investors from investing from Kenya to Uganda. But for your own information, this investor has done a lot here in Kenya. Uganda was just an extension of his vast kind of what is in his account. Okay, if Kenya can hold this much, the rest I can take to Uganda. So I shouldn't see any glitch or any conflict of interest in that kind of arrangement. So there is no issue. Kenya and Uganda have enjoyed diplomatic relations. I doubt, highly doubt, the Kenyan people can identify a terrorist and clear that terrorist to go and mess up with their brothers and sisters in Uganda. I highly doubt. I highly doubt. So I traveled with Harun. If he was a terrorist, my security from the Ugandan government would have deterred me from traveling with him if he was a terrorist. So some of these things that we are witnessing might be short-lived, but we need to look at the impact, and to be particular, the negative impact that they are bound to cause to our region, the East African region. I'm not analyzing this as Ugandan or Kenyan or whatever, but I want to see this in the perspective of the region. And one thing I want to assure you Kenyans, you see, for us in the wider East African community, we look forward to you guys. But if only you people could get away from this cheap tribal politics, then Kenya is the next thing. We look at you as our economic hub of the region, as a one-stop center in terms of economic dynamics. But one thing we request you is don't let us down, because a credible government, before concluding on anything, they will do thorough investigation. I'm sure if this guy was a terrorist, believe you me, President Uhuru Kenyatta will pick up the phone call and call President Museveni. So that guy that he is coming there with my deputy president is a terrorist. So we get him off, let my deputy president come to Uganda, conduct his visit as an East African, mark my words. So even with the little progress that we're trying to make, advancing to regional integration, political federation, these are some of the small glitches that make us lose hope. And like the coronavirus has taught us, the world over, not even the global powers are thinking, no, they're not thinking about us. So we need to think about ourselves. And this is the opportunity. You cannot talk about diplomacy when you lock somebody, you lock the embassy, for heaven's sake, embassy to which you sign diplomatic protocols from accessing a client. In the first instance, if you had an issue of terrorism against this guy, I'm sure, beyond reasonable doubt, that you would contact the Turkish embassy. So I hope that this turns around to be a positive thing for all of us, and we just leave it up to God and the leaders within the East African community. Thank you.